Hello and welcome to another Monday and another session of Let's Get Real with Mona. That's me, Mona Naidu. So tell me where you're joining me from. Yes, we have lights in Johannesburg. For those of you who are overseas, abroad, well, we've been having like 10 hours of load shedding per day over the last couple of days. So yes, to have everything working, and even though you may not have the electricity running, we find ways to work with it. So that in itself is a celebration. So welcome and thank you for joining me today. So where are you joining me from? Please do let me know, because I'd love to say hi. And sometimes, as you know, Facebook doesn't show the comments as we're going through. So it's not that I'm ignoring you if you say hi. It's just that sometimes these days Facebook plays some strange games when you go live. So for those of you who don't know me and are new to me, my name, as I said, is Mona Naidu. And in this series of Let's Get Real with Mona, what I do is I share stories and teachings to inspire you to turn your dreams into reality. So who am I and why do I do this? Well, I'm an abundant living coach, a women's empowerment mentor, a human behavior specialist, an international and an inspirational speaker, and a philanthropist. So I love sharing the wisdom that I come across, whether it's through my coaches, my mentors, or the research that I do. Because here's what I know, is that it's through education that we become empowered. Through education, we become aware. Now, what you do with that education, what you do with the knowledge is up to you. Because remember, it's one thing receiving the knowledge, receiving the teaching, but then comes the action, the aligned action. So everything is determined by what we do after we receive the teachings, the wisdom, the knowledge, right? Because knowledge in its own or in itself is not powerful. It's applying the knowledge is powerful. That's where the power lies in. So for today's session, we're looking at the theme of celebration, and that's what we've been doing for the month of December. And I just love what's been happening this month. You know, the coincidences of celebration, it just pours in when you are in that frequency, and I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. I mean, when you think about the month of December, right? The month of December, it doesn't matter whether you celebrate Christmas or not. Everyone comes together in December. It's the end of a year. It's the end of a calendar year. It's people coming together because they're unwinding from the happenings of the year and getting together, with family, with friends, to celebrate what has happened in the year. And I guess it's a very critical time in everyone's life, because it's celebrating what was and also celebrating what's to come. Because very often we forget that we have to celebrate what's in the future. Because that's an advanced manifesting tip, if you didn't know, to celebrate what's still to occur in your life. So today we are looking at how you feel when others celebrate you. Now, celebration has so many different components to it. It's not just about showing up for a celebration, but it's how do we receive being celebrated. Now, some people have shared that it makes them feel really good, makes them feel appreciated, it makes them feel valued, acknowledged. It makes them feel like a queen, it makes you feel on top of the world. And generally, that is how it is, right? I mean, when we're celebrated, whether it's our birthday or a career acknowledgement, a promotion, whether it's a wedding, an anniversary, and I mean, you see what happens on Facebook. I think it's one of the most beautiful, powerful platforms to be acknowledged and to be celebrated. Because when it's your birthday, everyone dives in and you feel valued, you feel seen, you feel heard during that time. So I love the platform that we have in Facebook in terms of celebration, whether it's someone's anniversary or someone sharing that they've had some career success or an acknowledgement in their work environment. It really is magnificent. Now just imagine what happens, right, to your abundance. Because as you know by now, if you've been following me and in my community long enough, you know it's all about raising our vibration. There was something going on with the tongue there. And yes, it's Mercury retrograde from the 29th of December to the 18th of January. So we're feeling the effects already. So you'll find that communication is impacted. You may find people flaring up. You may be flaring up. You may not know why your emotions are fluctuating. So today's conversation is perfect because it will help you to understand that it's not just you. Your emotions may be impacted by other influences in the cosmos, right? So it's important to know these things when you feel that your emotions, even though you may be celebrated or even though you are celebrating, that it doesn't feel as good as it could be feeling, right? So here's what's happening, right? When we are being celebrated and when we can receive it in the most expansive way, right? We raise our vibration, right? Our vibration goes up. And what happens is that we create this ripple around us for good to come to us, for more good to flow to us. And remember, the good in our lives, whether it is through our relationships, whether it's through money flows, whether it's through the well-being of our bodies, our health, our business doing well, our impact and influence in the society and the industries that we are in, this is all aspects of abundance. So when we feel good, we align to our abundance. We open up to receive abundance, opportunities, more acknowledgements, more impact, more ways to serve others. So whenever we are celebrated and we can receive that and not push it away, because that's what happens at times. We may be eager to receive it. We may be happy that we are being acknowledged. And then the little gremlin comes in. Who knows what I'm talking about? I mean, has that happened to you? Because I know that's happened to me. And very often we don't know why those little gremlins come in and, well, just knock us off our feet and knock us off that joyful state that we've been in. Now, what I found is that when we come from a place of gratitude, when we are being celebrated, I learned this from my teacher, Dr. John Demartini, a long time ago, that when we are being celebrated and we puff ourselves up, right, something will happen to knock us off that pedestal that we put ourselves on. You see, it's okay if others put us on a pedestal and they celebrate us. But when we puff ourselves up and put ourselves on our own pedestal, something will happen to knock us off. That's the way the universe works. That's what brings balance and harmony into this world. But when you come from a place of gratitude, when you're being celebrated, well, you bring this frequency of harmony into the space. Because remember, gratitude is a confluence. It is a joining of the mind and the heart space. So the heart keeps bringing you down to earth. The mind can go all the way up there and it can take us into actually negative spaces because too much excitement actually takes you out of harmony and out of alignment of your abundance. So the heart regulates you, and that's where gratitude resides, right? It brings you down into the space of harmony, and that's where you want to be. So when you're being celebrated, it's time to receive it, because I know for many of us, we come from societies where we were told to be very modest. We were told to, hold back our emotions, like even if we are happy that we are being acknowledged for something, to not show it. And what we've done actually in that space is we've suppressed our happiness. Because when we're being celebrated, it really is a time to be joyful. It is wonderful when other people can see our value, can acknowledge our value, can acknowledge us for who we are, can acknowledge the special moments, the milestones in our life. And I'd love to share with you that for a long time, I could not acknowledge my birthday. You know, my husband Vis would go all out to make it special. And I would end up finding some reason to get upset or annoyed or irritated with him, so that I would cause like a little fight, just so that I could continue the unhappiness on my birthday. And it all started from the time I was born, because I didn't believe that I was valued when I was born. And the funny thing is this, the memories that I have is, I think I only had photos actually being celebrated for my birthday up until the age of 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. And then after that, the birthday that I had was my 21st birthday. So all those years in between, I have no recollection of ever having a cake in front of me, of being acknowledged on my birthday, of being celebrated on my birthday. So for a really long time, and the funniest thing is this, I've not shared this publicly before, for my 21st birthday, Vis arranged my 21st birthday. My mom had just come out of hospital, so she was still healing and recovering from that, so she couldn't really do much. So Vis took everything upon himself to arrange my 21st birthday. And the funny thing is this, not a single person except my mother, my brother, and my sister showed up for my birthday. The rest of my relatives did not show up for my birthday. So this was so interesting that nobody showed up. And yes, there were Vis's relatives that showed up for my birthday, but not my relatives. So for my 30th birthday, for my 40th birthday, for my 50th birthday, it was I really had challenges with celebrating me at those milestones. Even though Vis was doing things to celebrate me, I really felt very challenged. And it's only in the last couple of years that I've been able to allow myself to be celebrated. And yes, even though other good things were happening for me in my life, I refused to be acknowledged. Whether I would receive awards in school, I wouldn't really acknowledge it. I would brush it aside. Right? When at work, I would receive acknowledgements. I would brush it aside and make it about other people rather than myself. Now, have you been doing that too? Now, here's the thing. Even though I'd been doing all that, the abundance came at different levels. But I was still limiting myself in terms of what I could receive. Because here's the thing. The celebration that we experience here in the physical, in the 3D, is an acknowledgement from the divine. Because remember, everything comes to us from Source, from God, from the divine, from Spirit, through other people, to us. And when we don't receive that gift of celebration, well, we are rejecting our connection to Source. We are rejecting our connection to God, Spirit, the divine, the universe. And when we become disconnected, what happens? The flow of our abundance stops. So today, I'm going to encourage you. I'm going to encourage you that the next time you are being celebrated, bask in that frequency, bask in that energy. Allow it to flow through you. Allow it to flow from you to others. Because celebration of you gets shared with others. When you are able to receive it, you are able to give it to others more powerfully. So it's not a selfish thing to revel in the celebration of you. It's not a selfish thing to be celebrated, to be acknowledged, to be valued. Because when you can receive it, your giving is then even more powerful. And then you are able to celebrate others more powerfully. Remember, it's a circle. We give and we receive. And until we can receive and allow ourselves to be celebrated for who we are, well, we are able to give such a wonderful gift to others. So for those of you who have practiced over years, like me, to be celebrated, because it didn't come easily, and it's still practice up until now, because you always wonder, is it too much? You always hear the familiar voices. Don't be too much. Don't be too excited, because if you're too excited, something bad will happen. We hear those things. But when we come from gratitude, when we are celebrated, when we allow others to show up for us, that's the greatest gift that we can give to others. So, are you ready? Are you ready to allow yourself to be celebrated? It doesn't matter for what it is. It doesn't matter. Feel the goodness, because when you can bring the good through you, the positive frequencies, you become a vessel to spread light into the world. You become a vessel to send good out into the world. Because when it comes through you, it must leave through you. And that's the most powerful thing, the most beautiful gift that we can give another, is to receive the gift of celebration. So I'd love to hear from you. How easy has it been for you to receive, to be celebrated by others? How comfortable are you with being celebrated by others? And how have you come through? What journey have you come through, to experience and receive celebration? I've shared my journey with you, and it's been a difficult one, and I'm still work in progress. And I know some people create their own celebrations just so that they can not feel that there's no one there to celebrate them. So are you one of those persons who's always making sure that you arrange your own parties just so that you don't feel that nobody's celebrating you? Sometimes if you're that person, give others a chance to celebrate you, because you'd be surprised by how people will show up for you. So I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what your thoughts, what your insights are, and how you feel. How do you really feel when others celebrate you? It really is a magical feeling. It really is a space of pure joy. And the more we can spread joy into the world, the more light goes into the world. So let's do that. So until next time, ciao for now.